TGIF, you guys. This episode of The Dogs Are Winning is all about puppies and seniors. So seen here, we have both ends of our rainbow. Now, of course, Henry does not look like a puppy in this video. He's 9 months old and he's just a tank. But believe me, he's still very much a baby. And Farley, of course, is 9 and technically a senior, and he moves at the pace of a senior, but he's actually such a good boy and just an absolute delight to have around. So today we're going to go over some puppy tips, some gotcha days, and those are the days when people bring dogs into their home and make them a family member, whether it's a puppy or bringing in an adult dog. And then we're going to have some senior tips on how to keep your senior young and vibrant like Mr. Farley is in this video. Did you see Penny and Jessie? They thought about running in. Here's Penny being silly. She's like, I want to play, but I don't know that I want to jump in with the boys. So I'll just be over here rolling around doing my own thing. So yeah, we just wanted to bring this episode to you today and go over a few of those things. Also, later in the segment, you will see some senior dogs that are either in shelters or in rescues and are looking for homes. And my hope is that you'll help me network this. So I always think that there's probably homes out there that would be perfect for these dogs. It's just a matter of getting them seen. So once this video is up and going, if you guys wouldn't mind sharing it, just to try to help us network these senior dogs that are looking for homes, that would be awesome. Can you imagine if we got them into a loving home, especially shortly before the holiday season, right? I mean, what a special gift for them. So we hope that you enjoy today's episode, and if you missed out on getting your dog entered into these photos, make sure you submit them next week. Thank you. With puppies, I think the number one thing to start with is always crate training. And sometimes crate training can be tough because they can be little crybabies and make you just feel awful. And some people don't understand the concept of a crate is not the same as a cage. Crate training allows you to be able to keep your puppy safe while you're unable to watch them so that they don't eat things they shouldn't eat. Also, it is a great way to potty train your puppy. So be sure to ask your breeder, shelter, or rescue how to crate train your puppy. Also, the size of the crate is very important. It should fit your puppy appropriately. This is Farley trying to fit into a puppy crate because he loves the crate so much. So this would not be the right size, just to make our point. Jessie, since she was a tiny puppy, has loved socks. When I go to get dressed in the morning, she follows me in, grabs a pair of socks and runs around, flips around, throws them around, plays with them in her mouth. She has taught Henry the same thing. So again, it's a very fun thing and it actually makes me laugh quite a bit, but eating socks is a real problem. So we need to always make sure that you keep an eye on games like this with your puppies. We are about to start our Happy Gotcha Day part of our episode, but first I want to talk about something that's very serious. And I'm going to share the story of my best friend Karen, and in hopes that this helps keep animals out of shelters. So Karen, unfortunately, was diagnosed with breast cancer in, I guess it was 2017 at the end of that year. And in 2018, we ended up taking Penny into our home because she was dealing with some stuff on her end, trying to deal with recovery. She was the mom of 2 young children and was a teacher. I mean, she had everything going for her. And she did end up doing all of the treatment and was cancer-free for a little while. And then it came back with a vengeance. And it was, man, she danced with the devil for many months trying to survive. And it had metastasized. It was the worst thing ever. She had gone through a double mastectomy and a hysterectomy trying to save her own life, and it still didn't work. The thing is, I'm not saying this to make you guys sad. It is very sad and heartbreaking and soul crushing. And she lost her life at 43. And it, unfortunately, she had many animals at the time, but the fortunate part was she realized what was going on, and she asked me and some other friends to step up and help her place all 8 of her dogs, her horse, her 4 goats, her pig, her 5 cats. I mean, she had quite a few animals, and because she took the precautions ahead of time, these animals were all able to find very loving homes. Between me and our other friends, especially Dorsey, we were all able to find homes for all of these animals. And these animals are all still thriving in these homes today. So that being said, she knew what was coming, and she was able to take the proper steps with me and other people to get her animals into loving homes ahead of time. The thing is, in today's day and age, I can't tell you how many times I've come across posts where people have passed in their sleep suddenly, have died in a car accident, are moving into assisted care and can't take their pets. Numerous cancer stories, anymore. And so what happens is these people die unexpectedly, and they leave animals. And a lot of times these people aren't expected to die. They might be in their 50s, 60s, 70s, and nobody saw it coming. And so now the family is scrambling, and these animals many times end up in shelters because the people don't even know where to start. And if the family members don't want them, they're trying to deal with so many other things at that point, especially if the death was unexpected, that they're overwhelmed, and it's just one more thing on the list. Oh, what do we do with the animals? Take them to the shelter. Check. And I have arrangements for all of my animals, but I have told all of my loved ones, if any of my dogs ended up in a shelter, I would haunt all of you. You would never get a nice, peaceful day as long as my animals were in that situation. So all I'm asking people is to just take the time to write something up. Make your wishes clear to everybody so that your animals don't end up in that situation. Okay? Farley came to us as one of Karen's, he was the last one placed. She wanted to keep him. When she realized that she wasn't going to survive, we already had him in our care, but I told her he will live out his days with us until the day you come back and get him from heaven. So, and he has a great life. He absolutely does. But anyway, I'm sorry to take up so much time in this segment, but this is so important to me. In fact, we had a woman out here on the farm, lived by herself, didn't have kids, didn't have anybody. It was her and her cat. And she passed away unexpectedly. This was in 2019, before COVID or anything. Passed away in her sleep overnight. And they determined it was a pulmonary embolism. When the emergency crew came to take her body, they were trying to round up her cat, and they were going to take the cat to the Humane Society. And we begged them. We said, we will find a home for this cat. And one of the gals out here, Tracy, made it her mission to do that. And she found that kitty the best home. And it was a senior cat. My guess is she would have been put down. I think she was probably 13. And she had already been saved from the Humane Society by our friend. She's the one that adopted her. So fortunately, we were here to step in. And again, Tracy out here was the one that was able to make sure that cat ended up in a very loving home. So again, anything can happen. Please don't let it happen to your animals, people. Please. Okay, now let's celebrate these beautiful animals let's celebrate their gotcha days, because we have a few of them here that are just spectacular, and I can't wait to announce them, and you can see their smiling faces. First up, we have Murphy. She joined her family July 31st. Farley joined our family August 5th and was very shut down. Annie helped bring him around. This is her taking him under her wing. Elise joined her family on August 9th. Denali also came from Karen's crew. She joined Carson as a family member August 15th. Viserian joined his family on August 16th. Cody joined his family on August 17th. Indy joined her family on August 20th. Lexi also has an August 20th gotcha day. And Beauregard just went home on August 24th of this month. How about some puppy brags? First, we have Daisy, and Daisy's mom said that when she was 4 months old, she learned to wait at the door and go to her bed on command. And when the doorbell rings, she never did run outside. She would stay right there. And one time the front door was accidentally left wide open, and Daisy was found sitting in her living room looking out the front door like a good girl. Next, we have Miss Honey, who is now 24 weeks old. Every night around 9 o'clock, she will sit in front of her mom and dad to get their attention, telling them that it is her bedtime. They take her for a walk, they give her a little treat, she gets into her crate and sleeps until 5 a.m. the next morning. Now that's a good girl at 24 weeks old, I'll tell you what. Last but not least, I would be in big trouble if I didn't brag on our boy. He went to a Labrador specialty show last month in the middle of July, and he made a new BFF, Susan, who takes him and shows him for me. I prefer taking pictures outside the ring. But Henry, he had never been in any situation like this. Susan had told me last month what to do to get him ready, and just by the looks of this happy, confident puppy in the ring, I would say we did a good job. He got 3 fourth-place ribbons and a second-place ribbon, so we are very proud of him. Good job, puppies. We have now reached the part of our episode today where we talk about seniors and Farley's tips for how to keep your senior aged like a fine wine. These are just tips on keeping your senior in tip-top shape. I think there's a lot of things that we can do to support our senior dogs. So this segment will cover that. Today we're just going to go over one thing, and that is that acupuncture is king. I am telling you guys, both Toby and Annie had stuff going on in their spine. They had spondylosis, and actually that's a pretty common thing in Labradors and in large breeds. It's just something that can happen, especially, and you may never know that your dog has it. It may go through its entire life without having any kind of symptoms. I had x-rays done on my dogs for various things over the years, and that's when it was determined that they had it. So I was actually proactive and did acupuncture ahead of time before we started seeing issues with the dogs. And I think that's everything. If you wait until your dog is already symptomatic and really having problems, then you kind of have an uphill battle before you start to get some relief for your dog, because you have to battle with what they've been dealing with for years, right? So your acupuncturist has their work cut out for them, certainly. Whereas if you do it proactive before you start seeing symptoms, and you can do it to keep the health of the spine and the joints and the bones, all that good stuff, then I think that you are way ahead of the game. And with Toby, I started once, I think every month, and toward the end of her life, it was once a week. And Annie was once every couple of months proactively, and then toward the end of her life it was once every 2 weeks. She was able to hold her treatments for about 2 weeks before she'd need another one. And that's one of many things that we did, but it is awesome. It's a huge benefit to your dogs if you have that service available to you. Some dogs can't handle the needles. I would say more that's going to be your thinner skinned dog. Like my Ridgeback probably would not have been able to handle it as much as a dog like a Labrador who has much more coat and much more skin. And if that's the case, they might benefit from something called acupressure, which is just pushing on the area rather than inserting needles into the meridians. So Again, I highly, highly, highly recommend acupuncture. And the picture here is of Annie during one of her sessions, and they had the electrostim unit on the needles, which just helps drive the treatment deeper into the system. So, and she loved it. I mean, she would sleep through her sessions. We would call it her spa day. But I definitely, definitely highly recommend acupuncture for seniors. Welcome to our last segment of this episode, which is the Senior Spotlight. And we are going to feature a bunch of seniors that are looking for homes. Currently at frostedfacesfoundation.org, Maki is looking for a home. They have several seniors that are actually looking for homes. But this is the one they sent in to me, and she is just adorable, isn't she, folks? Let's see, 11 years old, 44 pounds, and she's just way too cute. Look at that smile. So if any of you are interested in Maki, definitely check out the website listed above. The next one is Miss Rollo. She is being featured through, or offered, I should say, for adoption through animalcompassionteam.org. And she looks like a beautiful girl too. Big smiles on these guys. I'm so grateful that they're in these rescues. And let's see, 9 years old for this one. Great smile. Again, if you're interested in her, look up the website that's listed above her name. These guys are actually in Titusville, Florida, which is just outside Orlando. I think about an hour because we used to live there once upon a time. Anyhow, it looks like Johnny and Lily are owner surrenders, and they are actually just trying to get used to everything right now. I think so. If you're interested in either of these guys, or both of them preferably, you would have to go to forever-home-animal-rescue.com and contact them. Lenny is being offered through the labconnection.org. I saw this picture and I instantly thought of Farley. I mean, what a little love bug. Can't you just see that? You know, sweet black lab, gray muzzle. He just looks lovely. So again, contact them if you're interested in him. He is just too cute to pass up, folks, but I already have one. That's why I say that. Oh, Leia, and they called her Princess Leia. Are you kidding me? Oh, 8.5 years old, and surrendered by a family. She just looks like a little love muffin too. Great big smile. Brookline sent me several of their seniors. They actually sent me 5, but when I went to put the last one up, it was already adopted, which is good news. So brooklinelabrescue.org if you're interested in Princess Leia, or just Leia. Again, another one. This is Baloo. He's had a lot of stuff going on. He actually had some stuff going on with his right hind leg. He's in a brace now. Just so you're aware, but you could certainly look him up. The thing I like about Brookline is they have a ton of YouTube videos from their foster families. So it really shows the dog in their environment. So if you're interested in Baloo, brooklinelabrescue.org, and then just look him up by name and you should be able to find him. And he's got a lot of stuff going on. Sweet boy. I think he'd be a great addition. Bentley, we don't want to miss out on you, buddy. Total cutie patootie. God, look at that gray face on this yellow boy. He's just too handsome. And again, he's also with brooklinelabrescue.org. Look up Bentley on that website and check out his videos. He's got some great ones. Last but not least, Daisy. And can I just tell you right now, if the inn wasn't full here, I might be contacting them for Daisy, although I think I'm out of their adoption area. They're over in Pennsylvania, that area. So yeah, Colorado's not really on their list. Anyhow, Daisy looks like a little sweetheart of a dog. If you're interested in Daisy, please check out brooklinelabrescue.org and look at her videos. Last, I said once we hit 150 subscribers, someone will get a free bracelet from me. Karen Ross, it's you. Thank you again, you guys. Please like, subscribe, and share our channel.